Alisson Becker is a Liverpool player. I repeat, Alisson Becker is a Liverpool player. Liverpool have paid the world record fee for a goalkeeper after also paying the world record fee for a defender after buying 2 midfielders this summer. Liverpool thought they had a problem at the centre of defence. They paid a world record fee. Liverpool wanted to shift what they were doing in midfield. They bought 2 midfielders. Liverpool felt they had a goalkeeping issue. They paid a world record fee for a goalkeeper. Melissa Reddy from Joe. Liverpool aren't messing about.
No, absolutely not messing about, and I think they stated their intentions quite clearly last summer. This is an extension and an elevation of that, I would say. It was very clear last summer that Liverpool had the idea of solidifying their spine. And if they had it their way, Naby Keita and Virgil van Dijk would have been Liverpool players ahead of last season already. And obviously, Virgil van Dijk comes in, immediate improvement to a defence. You expect Naby Keita to do exactly the same in midfield. Fabinho as well ticks off an area that's been a problem for Liverpool for many years, a proper holding or defensively minded midfielder. And then, the cream on the absolute top. And I think the issue or the area, the department, we all were pulling our hair out for years and 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 years was the goalkeeping department. And for a long time they'd looked at Alisson. The foundations for this deal was already in place last year. In January they had made tentative checks to Roma to see, is he available? What's the feeling around him? What would be the price? Roma batted that away, but they obviously kept in touch with his representatives. And in February, the price at the time then was £62 million and rising, which is essentially, effectively, almost what they've paid now.
Yep.
Just a little bit more. But at that time, Liverpool didn't want to. It was a lot of money. It seemed a lot of money, especially at that stage, because they were operating from a position of strength, really. Wanted to give Loris Karius a try, doing well in the Champions League. And obviously, Kiev happens and pre-season happens, and you're in a position where you're thinking, just get it sorted.
Yep, just do something about it. And do you think that almost they've looked at alternatives? They've seen, is there another solution to this problem? This problem exists. We've thought this problem exists going back in January. This problem is a problem that exists. And do you think they've actually been spending the time around this, seeing if there is any alternative, and instead just sort of decided, well, there's one lad we really wanted. We know who that is. And so it just becomes a question of what we're prepared to pay, rather than trying to be clever, almost. It feels as though a lot of these signings to me feel as though cleverness is sort of gone one way or another. No one's trying to find a shortcut. It's just, who's the best person at this? Who do we think is the best person at this right now? Therefore, can we get them? If the answer is yes, then pay the money.
Yeah, Alisson was always first choice. I think we established that, quite a while ago. And apart from the fee, the issue was that there was also lots of other clubs circling around him, sort of fidgeting. PSG before they went and got Buffon. You had Real Madrid. You had Chelsea, knowing that if Real Madrid don't go for Alisson, they're going to look at Courtois. You had Courtois practically telling Madrid that he wanted to go back there or live in Madrid again. And so even if you were willing to pay the money, it wasn't a clear-cut situation at all because of the interest in him. And I think it had to get to a point where there was confidence, because if you're willing to put that outlay up, there has to be, you can't decide, okay, we're going to agree a fee here, and then the player's going to turn around and tell you, well, actually, no thanks.
Oh, not just the knock-on effect of the keepers you've currently got, for instance, or another goalkeeper finds out the extent to which he's second choice.
Exactly. And to answer your question, if a deal for Alisson didn't materialise, there were other options. Then you're thinking, how deep a drop-off?
Yeah.
Is that too close to what you currently have? Sort of things like that. It got to a point where Liverpool had to act, and had to act fast, because Chelsea's situation is up in the air at the moment. Plus, also, we've been to pre-season games. We've seen how it's been for Karius, and it's only going to get worse.
Yep.
You know, these are lower league clubs, and the mockery from opposition fans.
Crystal Palace away on a Monday night.
Exactly. The ironic cheers from, you know, Liverpool fans. It just doesn't seem like it's best suited for anyone to have him, you know, in the firing line still.
We've got loads and loads of reactions to this sign. It's on the AnfieldWrap.com. If you don't subscribe, it's the AnfieldWrap.com/subscribe to do so. We've had conversations with Italian journalists. We've spoken to James Horncastle. We've got all of our transfer stuff around it. So do subscribe if you haven't had the chance.
But yeah, he fills the goal. He's a bear of a man, yeah. I mean, I look at it and I think, obviously I cover Serie A for a living. So I don't follow, you know, Oblak, you know, La Liga but he's a phenomenal goalkeeper, and I look at it and think, you know, Liverpool, you know, they're not just upgrading; they're probably getting as good a goalkeeper as they could possibly imagine to get. I don't think there'll be any. I mean, as you well know, you know, the last few years, it's like, oh well, who do we play? We play Mignolet, do we play Carrot? I mean, there won't be any doubt about that. You know, it would be a huge move for them.
One of the things that strikes me about him, Mel, is the type of player that he is. I've been watching, I saw him play a couple of times for 90 minutes last season, not including when he played against Liverpool Serie A games. One of the first things I notice is he is very much an off-his-line goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Very much one does see himself as the 11th player on the pitch rather than the last line of defence. That's the first thing that I noticed with him. The second thing that I noticed with him as well was that, firstly, that he's exceptionally brave. He appears to be exceptionally brave diving in around people's feet. And the third thing that there is that he does have, you know, I was stunned by his show reel, in that to have played the way in which he has for a club he has the size of Roma and made that many excellent saves suggests, and these truly are excellent saves. You couldn't get the same sort of show reel off Mignolet and Karius across 2 years as he's got for 1 year at Roma. He really does appear to be quite close, we hope at least, to the complete package. I'd say the big question is the mentality in terms of handling the fee, and then also the idea that at Liverpool he may well have even less to do than he has at Roma, and how his concentration plays out.
Yeah, you know, in terms of the attributes, think of all the things Jurgen Klopp has ever said he wanted in a goalkeeper, and think of all the things Liverpool had thought they were getting in Lars Karius, and actually the keeper he was at Mainz, and the keeper that Manchester City, you know, recruited to their academy very young because they saw all these similar traits. Obviously, it's not worked out for him, but I think Alisson is the level up from that in terms of pedigree, and all the bravery that you mentioned and the confidence is something that Karius sort of lost after breaking a bone in his right hand. But those are the elements Liverpool want. They're quite an aggressive front foot team, and they need that to start from the goalkeeper through. It doesn't serve them well having a goalkeeper who's not going to be comfortable on the ball, who can't distribute, because, you know, you're not maximizing your strengths as a team then. In terms of pressure and expectations and all those kind of things, he seems to deal really well with being Brazil's number one. And, you know, didn't even lose his place as Brazil's number one when he wasn't regularly starting for Roma. So I think there's something in that. But even if he does have nervy moments, which, you know, I mean, the way Liverpool play, that we are such an expansive, open team, you are primed to then be cut open sometimes. I think fans will be more lenient towards him, or more accepting and more forgiving, because he is new, he is fresh.
And he's the world record fee for a goalkeeper.
Exactly.
I mean, there's something that we've got to get on board with supporters, which is, well, if it's not this fella, then who is it?
Yeah.
You know, there's got to be a period of time here. And the other thing that strikes me about it as well, Mel, is there won't be that uncertainty between who starts league games, who starts Champions League games. You pay a world record fee for a goalkeeper, it's quite clear who your number one is.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, it would be no bad thing if Liverpool could find a way to maybe send Karius on loan for a season, Mignolet, sell him, and have this really clear, no, this fella is the number one, we're not messing about. Allow Ward maybe to be his number two, off the basis of the fact that you're not expecting anyone else to play apart from maybe in the League Cup.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see that sort of, just to be absolutely crystal clear, if you're going to pay that much money for a player in goal, this isn't a rotation thing. It isn't even like Fabinho and Henderson, where you're expecting to see a way that they both get in the team. They're goalkeepers. One's the number one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exactly like the Virgil van Dijk situation.
Absolutely.
We're paying this money for you. Come in, make an impact, sort it out, exude calm amongst the team. I think this is the big issue. I think Liverpool were looking at it and thinking, you know, we've got this world-class defender, we've got an exceptional midfield, we have a front three that was the best in Europe last season. You know, we've added Shaqiri, who gives us variation in our attacking area. So we've done all the right things. What's the point having all those on the pitch when they're still nervous about what's behind them? And this sense of surety. And, you know, immediately when those lads look and think Liverpool have paid a world record fee for a goalkeeper, all the players in the dressing room are.
Yeah, they'll be texting each other.
Yeah.
They'll be sending a message saying, you've got on this. One last little bit before I let you go is, we don't think Liverpool are finished. I'm still expecting one more player who can play in the front three to come in. I am still expecting it to be Nabil Fekir. There is a little bit of a ticking clock on it, but not dissimilar to the Alisson situation. You sort of think, well, Liverpool's ticking clock is the player's ticking clock. His involvement in the World Cup didn't finish until the last possible moment. So Liverpool can have the idea of, well, they can have him day one back from his holiday. Are you expecting Liverpool still to go for Fekir? Because I am.
I think Liverpool thought so highly of him, and obviously the deal was at such an advanced stage, and for it to fall short because of a medical, and then there was no time to do anything after the medical results came in because he was flying with France. I think they would have felt a sense of letting the player down, because obviously, I mean, no party involved wanted that to be the end of it, or that result, that conclusion. So it depends on there's no question they like him, they like his attributes. But can you pay £50 million plus and 5-year deal for a player who has an underlying knee issue? So it's how do you work around what the terms of the deal are in terms of, you know, time, whether, you know, do you think, is it possible to do a loan deal, or is it still a permanent deal but only 2 years? There's all these things that you need to solve, but what I would say is, when Liverpool have really liked a player and there's been complications and hardships, Naby Keita, they find a way. The only thing is, this wasn't we disagree on figures, we disagree on what your wages will be.
It's the facts.
It's a medical thing. But I think if there is some sort of way to get the player and to protect their best interests as a club in terms of insurance and all that stuff, they'll find a way to do it.
Hopefully they do find a way to do it. But the point about all of this is it's remarkably exciting at the moment following the Reds. Liverpool, just off the back of a Champions League final and a fantastic season, have now added 2 midfielders. They've added Shaqiri, and they've gone and paid a world record fee for a goalkeeper. They'll get a season with Virgil van Dijk, not just 5 months. They'll get the entirety of the goalkeeper in there as well, right the way through. We're unbelievably excited. It's going to be a fantastic season. We're covering the pre-season over in the United States. You'll be able to get all of the coverage on that on the Anfield app, various social media channels, and all the post-match stuff. That'll be, again, if you subscribe through the subscription service, theanfieldapp.com/subscribe for that. We're really looking forward to the entire campaign. I still think Liverpool are going to do more business. The transfer window closes on the 9th of August. The season starts on the 12th of August. Enjoy all of it with us.